folks, Canadian Prepper here. So this video is for anybody who is losing their mind right now because it's just occurred to them that prepping is a good idea and they are scrambling to get all their ducks in a row before the proverbial you-know-what hits the you-know-what. I got this email from a single mom. I'm not going to give any other identifiers besides that one because it's important. I'm going to talk about it later. She purchased from my store one of the most expensive tents that we sell, and probably one of the most expensive tents in the world. It's a Russian Bear 5-person tent. Probably one of the best tents that money can buy. And no, this is not an ad for Russian Bear. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Now, I don't know this person from a hole in the ground, but judging by the tone of the emails that I've been receiving, this person is scared. This person is trying to get ready for whatever may come to pass. And it sounds like they're getting ready for a bug out situation or a way to stay warm should the grid go down. Now, we have a video being released in the next couple days. It's going to talk all about how you can heat your home safely if there is a winter power outage. Now, a backup to that indeed is getting a wood stove tent. And the great thing about the Russian Bear tents is that they are camouflaged. Okay, so if we're talking real deal SHTF and you need to bug out into the woods, and that's a very, very rare situation just off the hop. But if it came down to it, yes, that would be an ideal tent. But this is a $2,300 tent. That's in Canadian dollars, around $1,800 in US prices. So I am trying to convince this woman not to buy this tent because from what I know, she's a single mom. I don't know if she is wealthy. Maybe she is. Maybe she has all her other ducks in a row. But judging by the tone of the email, I think it's an impulsive purchase. Personally, it doesn't sit well with me to sell somebody something which is probably not only outside the scope of what their purchasing power would allow. Perhaps they're going into debt to buy it, but perhaps maybe more excessive than their situation requires. We sell those tents for hunters, indeed avid outdoors people who are going to be going out into the wilderness a lot. Now, it's different if you have a lot of disposable income. Then yeah, by all means, buy as many preps as you can. But you should, first and foremost, have your food, water, medicine, clothing, okay, backpacks, tools. These are the things that you need first before you start making those big ticket purchases. Part of the reason why it doesn't sit well with me is that I know she could take that money, that $1,800 in US funds, and invest that in food, long-term food storage. If you're gonna buy anything, buy long-term food storage. Now, I'm making some assumptions about this person when I make this video that they can't afford this tent. But like I say, if you can afford it, if you have disposable income, people buy far more vain things that really don't have any material value. I think of people who buy things like art or a Louis Vuitton bag or a really expensive vehicle like a sports car or something, things that are going to rapidly depreciate right when you drive them off the lot, or an 8K liquid OLED, whatever kind of TV. It doesn't sit well with me to make a sale to a person like that because I know if it's an impulse decision, number one, they might regret it in the future. They might not use it enough. And I just think that there's better things that they need to be prioritizing. If you have a limited amount of money, okay, you need to be prepping for a bug-in scenario. You need to be prepping to shelter in place. Now that depends on where you live, but there are few places where people live where the first option is going to be to bug out. Maybe if you live along a coastal city, and if you live in a densely populated city, then absolutely you should have a bug out plan. But first and foremost is sheltering in place, and all that really requires is more of the same. One of the big ticket purchases that I would recommend for people, if you wanted to spend a lot of money and you're just getting into this, if we're talking about water purification, you simply can't go wrong with a Berkey water filtration system. Okay, I'll post a link to that in the description. Above and beyond that, Mountain House freeze-dried food, you just can't go wrong. It's expensive, so you only buy it if you got all your other bases covered. But what I'm saying is don't make these wild, crazy purchases out of fear. Now, another thing that we've been noticing in the prepping community, Brad over at Full Spectrum was talking about this in our chat on the Think Preparedness YouTube channel yet. If you haven't seen that channel yet, go check it out. Long form discussions about all things prepping. He was talking about, he was noticing in his YouTube analytics that there's a lot more female viewers watching these prepping channels, okay? I think his viewership for females is 40%. That is huge. Considering for myself personally, 5 years ago, it was about 8%. And generally speaking, YouTube is a male-dominated sport, but more women are coming on the platform, and I have noticed that a lot more women are getting involved in preparedness. I'm seeing more and more female customers at CanadianPreparedness.com. Even Ron over at Atlas Survival Shelters was talking in our recent interview about how women are buying the majority of the bunkers nowadays. Well, I don't know about the majority, but they're buying a lot more bunkers than they were, a significant amount. So this is rather foreboding for me, because as men, we tend to do things for the logical reasons, okay? And I'm not trying to make any major generalizations here, but as a general rule of thumb, we are very logic oriented, whereas women tend to be a lot more intuitive, which makes me even more concerned about what might potentially be coming down the road, because women tend to sense things. I'm not going to say that, you know, there's that whole history of women as witches and having a greater connection with the ethereal realm of things. I don't know if that's true. It's probably all hogwash, but I've always thought that women may be able to have a better intuition about what is coming. You know, as men, we're just thinking logically, okay, if this happens, this happens. That's why most men are preppers in the first place, or at least historically was the case, because the role is to protect. That women are getting really scared for their children signals to me that perhaps this situation is different. Now, that could just be that the healthcare field is one where you find a lot more women. And just because of the nurture orientation of women, perhaps this medical crises that we've been experiencing for the last couple of years has just brought more of them out of the woodwork into the realm of prepping. That could be what it is. Or it's a sign that something really bad is coming. I know a lot of people think that, you know, I'm just doing this to sell stuff. And that's not the case. My goal with CanadianPreparedness.com is to get people what they need, to get you what you need and nothing more. I don't want you to buy things that you're not going to use, that you're just going to throw in the closet. Unless you're really rich, okay, and you got to put your money somewhere, because a lot of preps, to be honest, are going to appreciate. But if you're just somebody who is struggling to get by, I'm not out to exploit those kind of people. I don't want you to be making those impulsive purchases which are going to set you back in other areas of your life. So, at some point in the future, I will be setting up a consulting service through CanadianPreparedness.com to help people get exactly what they need. Now, it's going to take a while to get this all smoothed out. It's going to require a lot from us on the customer service end of things. But that's what I want to offer people. I don't want to take advantage of my subs. That's why my motto at the end of every video is support this channel by supporting yourself. Because I truly believe that the products that we carry are top quality, okay? They are going to help you if you use them. If you go out and use a Russian Bear tent in the winter time, and you get a nice wood stove in there, you're gonna have the frickin' time of your life. I guarantee it. Unfortunately, right now, they're like 4 months back ordered, and you know, textile shortages and shipping delays and all the rest. I think we have a few left in stock, but not many. Let me know if the women in your life are starting to take a greater interest in preparedness, and maybe ask them why. Maybe ask them what the motivations are. And with respect to getting things before Christmas now, I cannot make any guarantees whatsoever with respect to that. But to be quite honest about it, I don't think getting things before Christmas is necessarily the top priority. In the not so distant future, the biggest challenge is going to be getting things, period. Anyways, guys, stay safe, Stay warm. Thanks for watching. Canadian Prepper out.
The best way to support this channel is to support yourself by gearing up at CanadianPreparedness.com, where you'll find high-quality survival gear at the best prices, no junk, and no gimmicks. Use discount code PREPPINGGEAR for 10% off. Don't forget, the strong survive, but the prepared thrive. Stay safe. The best way